address your weirdest or most meaningful fan interaction. And I'm not in, by the way.
Lucy, I bet you've got some weird ones.
Yeah, I was just going through the catalogue going on. I was actually present at the death of a fan.
Wow.
Very meaningful. And because I got to know this person over the years and just liked her. And got a call that she had cancer. I knew about it through mutual friends, and I went to visit her. And she had this video of her childhood. And she had grown up in a foreign country. And I said to her, she's terribly sick at this point. And but in denial, I wanted second opinions. It's like, yeah, I mean, her organs. I won't go into it. Anyway, and I said, actually, I'd love to see that. And I think she thought I was Xena that stage. And she went off to La La Land, watching Xena watch the childhood movie she always wanted me to see. And we stayed with her, but she died in the night, and I think she thought I was Xena.
Or an angel.
I don't know. She knew better than that. That's why she liked me.
I get sent hair in the mail sometimes because people think I can touch it and pull out the impressions of their life, and I'll write them back. And send me hair, and I'm writing back. I've got some interesting articles in the mail as well, pictures, prison mail, fan mail. But I had a similar experience, not at the child's death, but it was a little girl who was a fan, and she had leukemia, and she didn't have her hair, and her mom shaved her head so that she didn't have her hair too, so her daughter would feel funny about it. And I came and visited her, and we still keep in touch with her and let her know that she matters. And I think that's the most important thing any of us can do with our position, is to elevate other people when we can.
Let their baby die. It doesn't matter if it's a male character or a female. Some writers are better at writing for that role than others, but yeah, producers protect their baby. They care about the character even more than the actor. The actor may not think so.
It's actually for Alison, how vigilant are you over fictional Alison DuBois to make sure that it's she's a realistic character and especially at the beginning.
So I'm different from all y'all. I am the character. It's based on my life, and it's very strange to see me and my husband having a fight on television. And it's Alison and Joe DuBois, which is our names. My husband and girls are over there. They can live me. Same time, and that a husband can support a wife and they lose it from time to time. It's a stressful job, being a jury consultant for the prosecution and getting in the head of bad guys that do terrible things. And I like that our show portrays that and shows that a woman can be strong in the workforce, but that there are still the male-female push going on in the place that I work in. The DA's office still goes on. And we wear pants to work, but that doesn't mean that we're always seen equal to a man in the workforce. And but I really like how the show portrays it. It is weird seeing my children portrayed in some of the episodes, though, where they'll show me seeing them dying in the future and then me trying to prevent that from happening. And, some things like that have happened in my life, but I have gotten on my email to our producers before and said, next time give the serial killer a name that's not one of my family names. That'd be cool. It's exciting though to see it all go on, and that Alison can crack open a beer at the end of the day and have a drink, and it's all right. It doesn't have to be taboo. It's just being a human being. So I like that they show my flaws as my beauty. Yes.
About that show, I think with all the characters for you guys, is that it's so realistic. I've watched Medium, and the point is watching Alison home and dealing with her life Not, I mean, the other stuff is great, but the core of it and the most entertaining thing to me is Allison and how she manages her life. And there's a realism there, and it seems like with all characters you've done and your character on 4400, there's a realism that comes to you. And I don't know if you try to write that way, forget about the sci-fi world entirely, just focus on a personal story.
I think it's actually even more important in the sci-fi world because you're asking people to accept all of these, wild and crazy, things. And so I think that actually grounding the characters in some kind of reality and making them seem like real people and, kicking back and having a beer and things like that, I think is actually even more important when you're asking the audience to stretch their disbelief. You want to give them characters that can kind of take them to that weird place and that you still believe them as people.
Although it's funny, when I was filming a scene and I had to watch a couple of people disappear in front of my eyes, and the director's like, well, you've seen this before, you're used to this. So I had to really not be me going, oh my goodness, they just disappeared. It's like, no, too big. No, you're used to this. You've seen people disappear before. This is your world. It's possible. Okay, so I won't be so surprised.
That too, where the phone would ring us guessing on some show, and he said no, and you get a terrible shock about this. So I turn around and go, no, this is not the demon baby. It's just a phone call. Relax. You get used to playing up a ludicrous situation.
Yeah, we always want to be massive, and they have to pull us back.
I'm curious what comments you get, especially from female fans, if there are, letters you get or fans who just say, thanks for being there, for doing a real portrayal, or getting stories out there that we like to see. Do you get a lot of female fan feedback?
I actually haven't gotten a lot of specific response from female fans. When I was on Voyager, I got a lot of stuff from Trek fans.
Really? They write in?
I get a lot of female mail. They run off to Vermont and get married. I told you before.
For something to do on a Friday night, I'm sure. But do you hear from anybody? I know you're still sort of new on the 44.
I am relatively new. I actually had fans before I was even on air, which scared me. but they've been both male and female.
My female fans just appreciate that different life is being shown on television and that they can relate to that and that it's good to stand out. It's not a bad thing to not be like everybody else, but it's actually really a strength. And so I get a lot of those letters from a lot of women and little girls, and that makes me feel pretty good.
And in a couple minutes, we're going to take your questions. So I'm going to get ready to just have a couple more questions up here. I guess the thing that I'm curious about too, and maybe not in terms of even of gender, but if you could change anything about the genre that you guys work in, what would it be? Is there anything that whether it's more roles for women or just anything? Is there something you'd like to work on? Something you'd like to improve?
Well, my favorite thing about sci-fi is that you can tell stories that are analogous. It's something that Galactica is doing brilliantly. That's a story that we all know what it's really about, but it's actually easier to talk about when it's Cylons, and when it's set in the future and it's on a different planet. I think it kind of gives you just enough distance that you can talk about things in a way that people might find a little easier to swallow or a little easier to think about, or might let them kind of stretch their brains a bit and look at things from a different perspective. So for me, that's my favorite thing about writing for sci-fi.
There's something, again, it's still sort of a newcomer to it.
Yeah, I guess I'm really glad that sci-fi is becoming much more mainstream. That's a relief because I think it's such a huge imaginative world and we're so unrestricted compared to, say, like a straight drama, anything's possible as they keep telling me.
when I get alarmed by things. Historically, they'll go, anything's possible. 4,400 people came out of a ball of light. That's, you know, and I'm really glad that the greater world is able to share in sci-fi more. So I really hope that it goes further, you know.
My genre is a little different from your genre in acting, which I appreciate that you all have the memories that you do. I can't remember all your lines. But in mine, I'm from Arizona, so I'm just happy that women are expected to be able to be as fast of a shot, you know, with their bread and 9 millimeters as the men are, and that it's okay to wear suits to work and all that good stuff. So I'm loving the strides that we're making in my profession.
We can test your shooting of you later if you want to come back and shooting executive balance.
I just want to wear something sparkly. Change. No, I love everything. Hooray for everything. Comic-Con, everybody. Let's go to the barn. See what happens. Hey, change your mind.
Last thing I was going to ask you, if we go through and just get an opinion from everybody, what kind of shows within this genre do you guys like watching? Or what specific shows? Are there ones that you just